These peaceful protests that started a couple of nights ago offset now by fires and looting. We want to go back to this news conference now, and our Theo Keith is standing by live. Theo, this is the first chance now we've really heard extensively from any of these state or city leaders, and one of the big takeaways here is that it's clear that the state is now in control and not the cities.
Well, that's right, Amy. This was a remarkable 80-minute news conference that was heavy on finger pointing of local officials, blaming them for really the problems of the last two nights. And that was short on specifics for exactly what's going to happen to try to restore order tonight. But you're right. One thing that is very certain is that local authorities in Minneapolis and St. Paul are no longer in control. The state has taken that away from them because of what happened the last two nights. One of the examples of which was the National Guard Adjutant General and the Minnesota State Patrol Colonel both said that they had very little specifics from local officials. Specifically, I want to call them out, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey and St. Paul Mayor Melvin Carter, on exactly what they wanted the National Guard and the state troopers to do once they got there. The Adjutant General of the National Guard was very clear that he said we had almost no marching orders. We didn't know where we were going to go. We didn't know what we were going to do. We didn't know what time we were going to carry those things out. And that all falls on the local officials. The governor then followed that up and basically said, if the local authorities had gotten their act together, we wouldn't have needed to take over. But as of just after midnight this morning, the state swooped in to the area near the 3rd Police Precinct in South Minneapolis, took over, cleared the scene, and now there's discussions about a potential curfew, about potential martial law. The governor's saying those decisions will be made by 2 o'clock this afternoon as far as what the state's going to do to try to keep the peace tonight.
And Theo, I think this is what is been frustrating to a lot of people is that details have been heavy on sort of the past, but not moving forward. People want to know, are we going to see a repeat tonight over the weekend of what we've been seeing? Not a lot of details here.
Well, that's very true. So here's what's happening right now. The National Guard has several ongoing missions. One of them is in the area around the 3rd Police Precinct in South Minneapolis, Lake and Hiawatha, where a significant portion of the damage, not all the damage, but a significant portion of it has occurred. That mission is ongoing. The National Guard also doing things like physically guarding the state capitol because of potential threats over here in St. Paul, as well as a couple buildings in St. Paul. Minneapolis firefighters as they're trying to put out fires still yet this morning. The National Guard also saying, I asked this question late in the news conference, that guardsmen are armed on the city streets. That was an important clarification that we needed to get. The Guard is armed. Governor Walz apparently gave that authority to the Guard because the FBI had found a credible threat against the Guard. Now, the Guard is able to defend itself. We don't know what other limits on what the Guard is able to do out there, but that's what we heard from the National Guard Adjutant General.
All right. Theo, thank you.